Hi everyone, this is Eileen from Eileen Stuffs, and today we are going to be airing out all the dirty financial laundry. It is time to do my debt confessions video. So I did start this video out as a face reveal, and then I started to second guess it because I started to get worried about combining my face with my personal financial information. I worried about identity theft. So I decided to scratch the face reveal. I would like to do it in the future. Maybe it would be fun for if I ever get monetized, I can do like a monetization, maybe like a Q&A and then a face reveal with that. We're specifically going to focus on the numbers, see where I'm at now, and decide where I'm gonna head. I will film this video in two parts. So the first part, we're going to add up and see what the debt total is. I really wanna start my debt snowball. So the second video will be dedicated to organizing all this debt and creating the debt snowball plan and how I'm going to start tackling the debt and moving towards paying off everything. My debt is pretty much divided into three main parts. I have credit card debt, student loan debt, and I have medical debt. So that is how I divided that on these pages. Before I begin, I do want to say that these numbers are definitely high, and I try not to let it overwhelm me on a day-to-day basis. Most of my debt is student loan debt, and we'll talk about that more when we get to that section. Numbers aren't like the best, I'm not gonna lie. Your girl is definitely in some debt, but I'm hopeful and I'm not going to let these numbers get me down. I guess that's kind of what I want to say. We're gonna start with credit card debt. And again, also going back to I started to get worried about my identity and identity theft. I also did not list out any of the actual credit cards I have. I ended up coding them. Just tried to take out as much personal information as I could, including my personal self, just to keep myself safe. I have 7 credit cards, and throughout this, anything you see that's starred in red, those are the ones that specifically have debt on them because of my pregnancy and my miscarriage. So that alone added almost $10,000. So it's kind of spread out through a couple things. That's what the stars mean. Okay, so my first credit card, I owe $934.39. My interest rate is at 25.99. Right now, my minimum monthly payment is $29, and it's due on the 28th of every month. My second credit card is at $6,798.92. So that's a huge, I think this one's actually my biggest credit card. And yeah, half of this is actually from pregnancy. And the interest on this is 22.99. My monthly payment, this one is also the highest one. It's $200.69 a month right now. And that is due on the 3rd of the month. My third credit card is $3,202.83. This interest is at 17.15%. My monthly payment on that one is $79, and it's due on the 7th. I went through some fertility treatments, and I was buying ovulation kits, pregnancy tests. It went on for like 6 months. And so I think I might have charged like ovulation kits and stuff on here. My fourth credit card has $2,475.11. I don't know what happened there with those ones. This one actually has no interest right now. I don't have interest on it for a year. So I think if I can pay this off soon, then I'll never have to pay interest. So right now it's just the amount. It's $25 a month. It's due on the 28th. This whole amount is literally for fertility treatments. I got this card specifically to pay for one of the treatments. Then my fifth credit card is a personal card. It has $2,088.59. This one has 26.99% interest. It's $66 a month right now, and it's on the 5th. My sixth card has $954.44 on it. It has 29.99. I think that's variable as well. Interest. My monthly payments are $35. It's due about the 10th of the month. And then my last credit card, I think I should be able just to pay off. This will probably go first on my payoff list. It's only $55.62. I actually couldn't find the interest on it. It is $29 a month and I pay it on the 17th. These are my 7 big credit debts, and this is what I would like to be completely done with by the end of this year. If I can pay this off by the end of this year, I'd be very happy. What I do is, the dates are kind of, as you can see, they're all over. I'm currently a month ahead on all these credit cards because I just pay all these. When I get my paycheck, my 15th of the month paycheck, I just pay them all. So the 7th, 5th, 10th, those cards are already a month ahead. And then the other ones, I pay plenty of time for the due date. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and add up and see what our total credit is and then what my total monthly payment is currently to pay for these cards. See what those numbers add up to. I'm slightly scared to see this, but we'll do it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the total amount owed. And I can fast forward through this part. Yeah, this is already higher than I thought. So for some reason, I was under the impression I only had like not even 10,000 of credit card debt, and I obviously have way more than that. The 100 envelope challenge is really gonna make a difference for this, for sure. 55, 62. So wow, that's definitely way more than I thought, but it's okay, it's okay. So my total credit card debt is $16,509.90. I don't know why I thought I only had 10,000, but again, this is why I think I needed to do this, because I felt like I had a rough, I said that in a previous video that I had a rough idea what my debt was, but I didn't have the exact. This, I would say, I could call this eye-opening. I'm having a small, I'm in a small bit of shock right now seeing the actual total, because I held off. I got all the numbers and I was like, oh, that's going to be big, but I didn't want to calculate it before the video. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of in real time being like, is that for real? I guess it's for real. So there's nothing to do. I'm going to double check my numbers real quick, and then we will move on to see what I'm actually paying per month for these debts. But I'll fast forward through this part. Yeah, so it's same. So $16,509.90. Whoa. That is not exactly what I thought I had in credit card debt. So like I said, I'm having a real-time panic moment because I hadn't actually bothered to add up the numbers yet. I did list out the medical bills section. I took out which part of this is actually medical bills. So there is a huge chunk of this just from pregnancy and my miscarriage, so I have to keep that in mind. But yeah, your girl's a little shocked right now. I guess that's really the only thing. Now I'm curious, how much money a month am I actually spending? Because I just make the payments every month and I don't even pay attention to what I'm actually spending. Just been doing minimum payments for a while now, so ooh. These do change sometimes. They seem to go up and down by a few dollars every month. But wow, I did not realize this much of my, this huge payment a month was going just to credit card debt. That has to be changed. Okay, so monthly I'm paying $463.69. Again, I'm a little in shock because I did not realize that I was actually spending that much a month. The 269 is definitely, I mean, that's half, almost half of it. So that adds up to, okay. So this is news to me, but my total credit card debt is $16,509.90. And monthly, I'm paying $463.69 a month to manage my monthly payments. I'm gonna move on to medical next, just to kind of tie it with what actually is going on with the credit. So I have 2 major medical bills, and these are directly related to my miscarriage. I'm kind of in shock how much money it actually cost me to get pregnant and lose my baby. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's just, so you know, it kind of is what it is, but it is kind of heartbreaking. My hospital bill was over $2,000, but I've already been making monthly payments on it. So now it's down to $1,861.91. And that bill is specifically when I had to go to the emergency room when I was actually going through the miscarriage. I didn't know what to do, so I went to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for hours and hours, and I got a huge bill. I had a follow-up visit with my doctor after the hospital, and that bill had also paid down. This one was like about $198, but now it's down to $127.98. The minimum for that I pay is $32 a month. So let's look at what the total cost of my miscarriage is right now. I still have about $1,989.89 to pay. Those monthly payments are costing me $218.20 a month. And then I did kind of tie the pregnancy, the fertility treatments back to what's happening with my credit. My credit card that I labeled as number 1, number 2, and number 4, they all have money on them specifically from fertility treatments to conceive. Credit 1, it says several hundreds, and this is also where I bought a lot of ovulation. So maybe I was wrong about the credit card 3. I don't even know what I was doing. It was such a frazzled time, spending like hundreds a month just to get ovulation tests. I'd get like the digital ones, I get the regular ones. So the first credit card has $934 on it, but I would say probably around $400 of that is specifically from ovulation tests and pregnancy tests, because then after I would do the treatment, I would start testing to see if I was pregnant. Credit card 2 has $6,798.92, and of that, about half, little under half, so about $2,988 was specifically for fertility treatments. And then my credit card 4, like I said, that one, the total on that was $2,531, but it's now down to $2,475. But that whole card is specifically for fertility treatments. So the total debt I'm in for my pregnancy and my miscarriage totals, when I add the credit part and then I add the medical part, the total was $7,908.89. And I cannot tell you how much this crushes me to know that I put myself about $8,000 in debt to try to start a family. Felt like, okay, if I'm pregnant now, it was totally worth it. So to lose the baby was gut-wrenching. And all I have to show for it now is this huge bill. But that's where this part's at. These are fixed payments. I don't know if I'm going to put these into my debt snowball. I think I'll probably focus on the credit. So this is 2 of the big ones. So we are at, let's just kind of see where we're at, $16,509.90 plus we had $1,989.89. So right now we're at $18,499.79. That's kind of like my personal debt. And honestly, that's not really high for debt. If you think about how much debt people are in, that is doable. And I look at this number and think, man, if I was only in $18,500 in debt, then a lot of the other things I want to do right now would be possible. I could probably buy a home right now. That debt to income ratio would look really good. And it would be something that I could probably easily pay off in a year or a year and a half, depending on how hard I work, how much money I make. But now we have to throw in the student loans. And the student loans is what's going to just push everything over the edge. So let's go ahead and look at that. So I have 5 different student loan groups and from 3 loan providers. I have 1 Navient loan, I have 1 Perkins loan, and the rest of my loans are through Nelnet. And Nelnet, those are the biggest loans. Those have a lot to do with grad school. My first student loan is at $2,879.40. The interest rate is 2.32%. And right now my monthly payment is the 10th and it's due on the 28th. I always pay this early. I pay it on the 15th. My second student loan, this is the biggest one. This is like a group of a bunch of little loans that they've grouped together. This is a Nelnet loan. This student loan is $127,991.21. It also has a high interest rate for student loans. It's at 6%. I'm currently not making any payments right now. That will end in May. Sorry, my third student loan is $2,047.65. That's only at a 2.32% interest, and that's paid on the 1st. Then these 3 are the Nelnet ones. Pretty sure this is Navient. So my last no net loan group of loans, again, most of this is from grad school. It is $43,446.18, and it has a 2.32% interest rate. And yeah, they're due on the 1st. But now I'm wondering why, since these are all grouped under the same like no net account, I wonder why these two have a lower interest than that one. And I wonder if that's something I could change. I don't know if it's so high because of the amount or what happened there. Then my last loan is like a little Perkins loan that I had from my bachelor's. It's down to $2,367. And for some reason, there's no interest on it right now. And then I don't even know the due date because they like switched companies, and I've had a hard time getting a hold of anybody. I know they're about to be in repayment in May as well. So I'm hoping by May I'll get some information in the mail. And I did add it up. I just want to double check my numbers. So let's see what we have here. That should be right. Yeah, so wait. Oh, I did mess that up. So my total student loan debt come out to, man, $178,731.52. Woo, that is a huge student loan bill. I have pretty much paid my way through school. I mostly had grants when I did my undergrad, but I also had to take out loans. So this is from my undergrad, and my graduate school was totally funded by loans. And this is what happens when you're done. So, it's an okay return on my investment. I think I could be making more than I am right now, but okay. So we have I can't even say that number. $178,731.52 is our grand total for student loans. And like I said, this is really the big part of my debt. But on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't really affect me too much because you can always make payment plans. I am on one of their income-based repayment plans. And with that, if you make payments for 20 years, after 20 years, the rest of it is actually forgiven. So, which is good for me because by the time I'm ready to retire, it'll be like that 20-year point, and whatever I haven't paid will be forgiven. And as you know, the monthly payment is doable. And right now there isn't even a monthly payment, but that's going to change in a few months. Okay. This is how this amount breaks down. So I have 7 subsidized loans. So of this, some of them are subsidized. They were $30,887. So this was pretty much undergrad. I have 10 unsubsidized loans. So this was grad school right here, $129,687. So not all of this was grad school. I do think that by the time I was at the last year of my bachelor's, I did end up with some unsubsidized loans. This Perkins loan is from my undergrad, that little 2001. And then these graduate plus loans specifically from grad school, that was $15,468. So that's kind of the breakdown of this number. So that is my debt right now. I'm slightly questioning my life choices, and I'm like getting ready to go on this trip, and I'm kind of second guessing, like, should I really be spending money on this trip now? But yeah, I think it's okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to total the credit, the medical, and the student loans, and we're going to get our grand total for how much debt your girl is actually in. So $509.90. Then we have medical. I mean, that medical bill is not too bad. So as I said before, it's about, is that what I got before? Yeah, $18,499.79. Now to add the student loans, and we will have our grand total, which we can see is going to be a pretty penny. Oh, I don't even want to look. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm scared. The grand total of my debt, wow. Man, I'm just gonna write it really big. Okay, so the total amount of debt I am in is $1,900. Oh, yeah, sorry, I can't even say this number. It's $197,231.31. That is my total debt. Yeah. I knew it was over 180,000. I had no idea it was like creeping up on 200,000 of debt, but this is it. This is where I'm at. I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm just actually kind of sitting here, and I just was quiet for like a minute staring at this number. I cut it out, but I'm letting it sink in that this is actually the total amount of debt I'm in. Again, most of this is student loans, and those are just going to be with me for a long time, so I think I have to make peace with them. But let's go. I'm going to try to push myself forward from the shock I'm feeling. We got to start attacking this debt and get it down as much as possible. I am going to start with credit. That is the highest interest. This is like, well, like we saw, it's taking almost $500 a month for me. So when I combine like the monthly payments that I'm paying for these, how much is that? So my medical and credit takes out $681.89 a month. It's just such a chunk of like income that I could be saving or investing or stuffing, and it's going to this. So that makes me annoyed and makes me want to work as hard as I can to get rid of this number for good, which is good, right? So I got to turn this like feeling I'm feeling right now into action. Can't get stuck. Got to just keep moving forward. I am going to do the method where I pay the lowest amount first. I think I'm going to stop here for today because I'm having some kind of like, I would call it sticker shock, but yeah, let's just put this page back. I'm definitely in some kind of number shock right now. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let it sink in, and then I'm going to feel sad if I need to, but I think no, we're going to be okay. We're going to move forward. And we are going to make our plan. So the next part, we'll list out the debts in order we're going to pay. We're going to set up our debt snowball. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to snowball money in, and then we are just going to move forward. We're going to start attacking this debt, and hopefully I can pay, especially for this credit, if I can pay a big chunk of this throughout the year, then I'll have the 100 envelope challenge, which will knock about 5,000. So that will be kind of the goal for the year, is this. This is what I'm going to focus on as my goal for this year. I did write as my financial goal that I wanted to have about half of this paid off by the year. And I didn't know what that number was, but now we do. So my goal would be then for the year is to pay $8,254.95 by the end of the year. Almost 5,000 of that's going to come from the 100 envelope challenge, which means that if I can at least pay 3,000 during the year, which is easy, then I can meet my goal of 50%, and I can maybe even exceed it. Now, as I'm looking at this paper, I'm realizing I forgot to talk about this, but I also owe my mom $3,500 for my divorce lawyer. The retainer is $3,500, but that's like, that's probably going to throw me over. I totally forgot. So I owe my mom $3,500 for my divorce lawyer. Yep, that threw me over. So when I include that, it actually brings it up to 200, and I cannot even say these numbers. $200,731.31 is actually my total because I forgot the money I owe my mom. So we are over 200,000 in debt. I'm going to stop here. We're going to make a plan. We're going to start the plan. We're going to move forward. We're going to cry if we need to. We're going to laugh when we can. And we are going to just move on. I think I'm going to do periodic updates of the debt, and we'll start with the credit. So this is our starting point, our baseline, and then I'll be able to check in maybe like every 3 months. I'll do like quarterly check-ins to see how I'm doing with paying these off. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. You kind of know what I'm working with now. And I do question, I guess, like, should I be stuffing envelopes or should I just be throwing all the money to debt? But as I've said in other videos, I don't want to keep stealing from my future because of like temporary problems. And this is like the biggest one for me because this like student loans are a different beast when they come to debt. And I am on a repayment plan. that does include loan forgiveness after 20 years. So as long as I make my monthly payments on this, I'm good. I don't really worry about it too much. But this is like unnecessary, like credit debt, this consumer debt. No, this has got to go. Even though I have this, again, it's still a temporary problem. This is not going to be here forever. I just have to deal with the situation, which I am, and I'm going to. But I still think it's worth stuffing, even if I only stuff little amounts, because I still want to put something towards other goals. I don't want to not do those things. So I'll still continue to stuff, but I am definitely going to make a point now to start throwing more than minimum towards these credit cards to work on my goal of paying off 50%. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I look forward to you following me as we pay this down. Hopefully at the end of the year, we'll have paid most of this off. We'll unstuff that 100 envelope challenge. We'll make a chunk on this and we'll have cause to celebrate. That is my hope for the December of this year. And for the rest of this year, your girl just has to get to work. She has to pay this off. She has to be careful with her spending. And we are going to do this. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.